So, unless you've been living under a rock, the number one movie in the world is Project Hail Mary. I made a review on it. It was so good. But Ryan Gosling recently sat down for Variety and gave an interesting quote, and he's kind of just saying the quiet part out loud, the things that all the average day viewers are thinking, which is that if Hollywood wants movie theaters to stay open, it's up to them to make good movies, right? But let's check it out from Variety. Right, so it says here, Ryan Gosling made a surprise appearance at a New York movie theater on the opening night of his latest big screen blockbuster, Project Hail Mary. Welcoming a packed audience, Gosling flipped the script on who is responsible for keeping cinemas afloat amid the rise of streaming and falling box office numbers. This is what he said. 6 years ago, I got the manuscript. Gosling said, referring to Project Hail Mary, "It's the most ambitious thing I'll ever make. It seemed impossible. It was too good not to give it a shot. 6 years later, we did it. And here we are. We're all back in theaters. It's not your job to keep them open," being the viewers, right? He's speaking to the crowd here. "It's not your job to keep them open. It is our job to make things that make it worth you coming out." I mean, this just makes me like, every movie that comes out now with Ryan Gosling, I'm just gonna go watch it. Like, even if the reviews are bad, even if it's bad, because this is an actor, right, who gets it. And we all know that majority of them, right, in Hollywood, they don't get it. Or even worse, right? Even worse, which this is my personal opinion. I don't think it's that they don't get it. I think it's that they just don't care. That's what I think. I think some of them are so high on themselves and what they do, and think that what they're doing is so important to the world. And I'm not to say that, anything that someone does that they're passionate about is important, right? It's important. But there's a difference between I'm inflating my importance, right? I don't think this YouTube channel here is like God's gift to mankind. And it just seems too often that these actors, these directors, right? Hollywood, seems like they walk around like they think that they are. They think that they're just this superior, awesome gift that no one should ever disagree with, that no one should ever complain about, right? And, we know that's just not reality. And what the average viewer wants, which it seems Ryan Gosling 100% gets and understands, is that we just want to see good movies. That's it. Give us a good movie, good music, right? Something that's heartfelt, something that's hopeful, right? Don't preach to us. Don't shove, politicalness down our throat. Either way, whether it's left or right. I don't want to see anything that has to do with conservatism as much as I want to see anything that has to do with liberalism. I don't care at all. I'm not in it. Now, I understand that there are movies that center around that, right? But we all know, right? We all know when we've sat down and watched a movie, and let's say it's a political drama, right? And we've all sat there and we all know the difference between a story that centers around politics, but the characters are being developed, right? There's intrigue, there's a good either political mystery, or we're seeing how certain things are developing, and it's like, okay, that's cool. There's a difference between that, and then when we can see characters making decisions in the movies based upon modern day political agenda, where we know, okay, that person is totally making this decision based upon actual real world ideology. And we can tell when we're being preached at versus when a story is just structurally sound and structurally good. And I think that's probably the biggest disconnect between Hollywood and, I would say, the average day viewer, is that they think we're morons. They think that we're not smart enough to understand story structure, to understand character development. They think that we're dumb, that we can't see the difference between a good structured story, a good structured character, and then someone who's literally just there to make a point. Someone who's literally just there to preach at us. Or a story that's literally just there to bring awareness to an ideology. They think that we don't understand that. And so far, at least in my opinion, they haven't fully learned that lesson, because it's still existing in certain projects. Even with things like Project Hail Mary. Project Hail Mary is making so much money, like it's doing great, but it makes me sad in the sense, for this one reason, that I know Project Hail Mary would be doing way better numbers than what it is. And it's already doing numbers, but it'd be doing way better numbers if it wasn't for the damage that Hollywood has already done for a lot of average day viewers. There are people out there who now are just like, I'm completely done with like the movies, because every time I go, I'm being preached at. Every time I go, there's agenda pushing. Every time I go, I'm being talked down to, instead of just being presented a good, functioning, structured story, right? And that's been happening even in what's supposed to be like our medium where everybody can go to, right? And I'm specifically talking about like, comic book stories, right? Marvel, DC, where even now in these stories, we're getting preached that now everybody's like, well, if this is existing here, why am I even going to watch anymore? Like, there's no point. Like, I came here to watch Hulk fight Spider-Man, and I'm somehow now being told how racist I am because I don't believe, or how much I'm a bigot I am because I don't believe a man can be a woman. Like, that somehow has crept its way into a Marvel. And it's like, why am I going to do this? So I get why the average day viewer, there are a lot of us out there, a lot of people out there who are just like, I'm not going to the movies. I'm done with it. It's already expensive enough to go. I'm not going to buy what Hollywood is selling. And so I know like something like Project Hail Mary would be doing way better if, let's say, we were talking about the movie theaters 10 years ago, right? That audience 10 years ago would be eating up Project Hail Mary. It'd probably already have $1 billion by now. And so that just it proves the point of where we are as like, as a society. But kudos to Ryan Gosling. He gets it. He understands, he's in the room, he's read the room, and he understands the temperature in the room. And so I'm on board for whatever Ryan Gosling wants to do next. As far as I'm concerned, Ryan Gosling, if for somehow you ever see this, just make your own movie studio and start making your own movies. Hire the actors and writers, whatever you want. Like, just you do it, bro. You do it, bro, because you just seem to get it. Like, you get it. And we just need more people in Hollywood who just get it and are just done with all of this nonsense. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, I appreciate y'all.